The core of the analytics problem is business users have a broad question like how can I sell to young customers? And what they expect is a curated answer such as focus on these products, these channels, contact them at this time, etc. But there are several steps that are necessary to bridge from that business question to that business answer. First, you have to find and clean that enterprise data. This is typically manually done by data engineers. Then, an analyst has to come up with 10 to 50 questions that they can answer from the data. These are called analytical questions, factual questions, like which are the top channels for young customers. Then they have to answer the analytical questions. This is where tools like Tableau, Power BI, etc. comes in. And finally, they have to assemble those answers, curate them into a business response. And that is also done manually by analysts. Now, Able has automated every single part of this equation. First, we created something called Able Sense Everywhere that allows us to analyze the data in your Snowflake, in your Salesforce, in your Teradata, across all of your data sources completely automatically without any manual effort. Don't believe me? Let's talk to the customers.
And it's just inconceivable how we would be able to consume all this data. And what we're seeing right now as we're using this Sense Everywhere is we're able to see really fast insights in huge amounts of data that we just wouldn't be able to see instantaneously. So we're on a WebEx call for an hour. We can run 6 or 7 different iterations of this model. It's all real time, takes a few minutes.
Right, and I think the one thing that's just people don't understand is when we say this is easy, like they don't fully understand what that means, right? And you are making it really easy. And so I'm excited to continue working with Able, and I'd encourage anyone that's considering it to just try it quickly with their data, right? And see what we see every day when we use our data.
I keep hearing this, people don't believe it can be that easy. So when you're going from raw data to one of your analysis or to your model training, how much manual setup do you actually do today?
I prefer to do none.
Then we figured out how to ask many questions completely automatically. Think of it as asking millions of questions in a matter of minutes. All possible questions of the data. Sounds too good to be true? Let's listen to the customers on this.
We found something interesting where there were really high claim denials related to claims that were for poison control related diagnosis and admissions, and happening at a certain facility, and by the way, happening at certain payers more than others. So that's something that the business wasn't automatically aware of. So it can surface unknown insights that we just wouldn't have thought to ask. That's like such a very specific condition that it relies on human intuition, and if people aren't aware of that happening in the data, they're not going to ask that question. So that was really important.
But Arja, that's funny, is it's not, what usually trips my team up is not so much that we didn't ask the right question. People always come back and say, well, did you consider this and that? Did you consider that and this, right? And we're always like, shoot, we didn't, right? But now we know comprehensively that you took care of that for us.
Yeah. And the speed at which you can explore and get those insights is unmatched.
This is the thing that we were trying to do manually, but there's no comparison to the dynamic auto generation of all these insights.
But if these questions are very expensive to answer, people wouldn't want to ask millions of questions. So we had to figure out how to cut the cost of asking these questions down to 1/1000th the cost that customers are facing today. So it's a head-to-head comparison between what Able does automatically and what they're doing manually today, and let's see how low the cost can be.
You see here 75 data sets, 100 million rows. What took us typically 3, maybe 4 to 6 months, we did in 14 days, Arjit. As well as our cost, and that is a true number, was less than $80. I literally sit in finance calls now, and we review everybody's cloud cost, and people just kind of laugh, almost make fun of me because my number is so small compared to my colleagues.
The biggest part for us was just being able to go through a lot of data sets very quickly. But the numbers that we're seeing here are really focused on how many data sets that we went through, and like how many variable combinations were created automatically, comes back in minutes, basically. So great experience running at $100, so that's really, really good.
We're working on our largest data set, and what we're trying to do is combine a lot of other data sets that we wanted to combine before, but it was just scalable. I mean, ultimately what we're trying to see is what influences our outcomes in terms of things that we control and things that we don't control, right? So it's bringing in internal and external data all together. But through the process, and I think we accomplished this all in about 2 weeks. RJ was reminding us of where everyone else was, and so there's been a bit of a healthy competition with UnitedHealth here. We came in with the most number of rows that we processed, and it was mind-blowing, like you said, Sharon. The performance is just crazy. It blows you away.
And for just $15. But do you think they have the biggest data set?
Congratulations. However, I can tell you and share with you right now that our team is writing pipes from Kafka streams into BigQuery, where Able is connected, and we're probably, next time we sit here, you're going to be blown away by the amount of data that we're processing.
But wait, there's still a problem of taking all these questions, answers, and assembling them into something a business user can understand. This is the last mile problem that has bedeviled most organizations because it's very hard to explain these insights to users. And we solve this by using generative AI in ChatAible. ChatAible is very similar to what you might have seen with ChatGPT, but focused on enterprise analytics. It quickly summarizes the key insights in the data without any human intervention, without having to have the user ask the initial questions. But of course, users can ask questions if they like. Second, it has enterprise context. So it understands the customer's data. Remember, we could analyze all those thousands of data sets very easily automatically. All that enterprise context is used to answer these questions without passing raw data to generative AI. Third, there is a problem of hallucinations in generative AI. So it'll get things wrong about 20-25% of the time, but we double check those answers using that information model, that automatically created information model. Essentially, we are having an explainable AI double check the generative AI. And if a text is highlighted in blue, it is true. But then the user can triple check that analysis by putting their mouse on top of any blue text, and up pops the chart that has never gone through the generative AI, and thus the user can quickly triple check against facts in their data. Remember, this entire process from raw data in thousands of tables in enterprise systems to this kind of analysis is completely automated. In just the first 3 weeks of ChatAible beta being available, it was adopted by 350 organizations, 20 of the Fortune 100, 60 of the Global 2000, and 250 of these organizations, 15 plus of Fortune 100 and 45 plus of Global 2000 have already activated and started using ChatAible.
This is awesome. I mean, communication, storytelling is very important because we've got very strong business folks and we've got very strong data scientists. And for us, to be able to communicate and understand can be a barrier. You've made the bridge for us.
I think what you're delivering here is a real game changer because it allows anyone on my team now to be able to deliver the insights to a stakeholder.
Finding the people that can provide that synthesis of information is the missing link, right? They're so hard to find.
And
And
we
so
call that
now
we call that role a translator, right?
Exactly.
And it's just hard hiring a translator.
Right. And now we have this translator on top of that.
Able's in a category of its own, RJ, right? Because it takes you to an answer. It does it in a visually stunning way, an easy way to deliver the insights. But it's one of the few things that I've seen here at the show that really delivers answers and insights.